Hey, Rick Brandenburg for Turf Bugs and Rock and Roll again, talking about the dark side of social media and how that can impact the turf industry. And one of the things that really frustrates me is the level of misinformation out there, the amount of information that through slick editing or whatever really looks to be professional, and the distortion that's done in such a professional way that it appears to be credible. And that's really had a lot of negative impact, and it takes certain subjects and it really blurs them. Classic example are things like climate change, and how the way Al Gore unfortunately set this stage of cataclysmic climate change and everybody's going to be dead in 10 years and everything will be underwater. That had so many negative impacts, because now anytime the two words climate change are mentioned, everyone thinks of Al Gore and everyone thinks, oh, gloom and doom, and we're predicting the end of the earth in the next year or two. And that's unfortunate, and Al Gore never was a climate scientist, never will be a climate scientist, and Al Gore has become very wealthy based upon a lot of the things he said. And so, that's where we are. But at the same time, when we go with celebrities and politicians and people like that, the likelihood that there's not an agenda associated with what they're saying, I mean, John Stossel's not an expert on anything. He's an entertainer. He does what his producers tells him to do so they can have a show that has a lot of viewers and they produce revenue through advertising. So don't come to me and say John Stossel said this or that, because I'm just going to say, and what did a reliable source of information say? Did they agree with him as well? So anyway, we've got to really, really be careful of where we get our information, and we've got to really be careful of who we call a credible source of information. In the next two videos, I'm going to give you examples of someone who is not a credible source, yet he's used over and over and over again related to climate change, and I'll talk to you about how that negatively impacts specifically the turf industry. Hope that helps. Hope you can't wait to see him. See you again soon.